This is the unboxing of the Audeze EL-8 in Titanium. And I'm saying EL-8 in Titanium with an austere voice. Why? Because if you know anything about these headphones and research them on the internets, you have read that other people think that these headphones are quite austere. So let's find out. Now, we all know that a box is just a box, and what's inside the box is what really matters, but I have to emphasize that this box is really boxy. Very nice is what I mean. And it should be. It was sold in the Apple Store. These pair of headphones were made for the iPhone. The titanium version of the EL-8s have what's called a cipher cable. Did you get that? Cipher cable. Sounds like something from the Matrix movies, right? Well, the cipher cable is Audeze's own proprietary technology, and here it is on the box. It's a DAC amp that's built inside the cord that will actually help power these headphones. And without the cipher cable, the sound is in fact quite different. When I open the box, you see that it's just open to thin air. Well, it turns out that the person who sent me these headphones accidentally put the top cover on the bottom with the other bottom. Doesn't matter. The first cable I just pulled out here is a regular cable. Now, you have to realize that the cables for the EL-8 are proprietary, meaning the left and right portion of the cable is a proprietary system made by Audeze for Audeze. You can't find it anywhere else. You have to buy the cables through Audeze itself. The headphones are in pristine condition. This is a used pair. They are in pristine condition. I was flabbergasted how wonderful they looked. I was pretty apprehensive when I first purchased them because they were at such a huge discount. The other thing I noticed is that the headband, the cushion part here, is totally unacceptable. These headphones cost a lot of money. I'm going to say $800, the original marking price. They're built of, well, I suppose titanium, but at least some sort of metal and wood. They're very heavy, and Audeze thought that it would be a good idea to put that flimsy little piece of headband to support it. No, that was an immediate issue. But the rest of this pair of headphones is so well engineered. The ear cups rotate either direction so you can lay it down flat whichever way you want. It's metal and it's wood and it just feels so austere. Those internet people were right. And it's also very heavy, so I guess that goes to the austere thing. Regardless, let's look inside the box further. They have these little pads. That's very nice, and underneath is another little box, and inside this box is that fabled cipher cable. It wasn't used, obviously, because it's still in its original packaging. And once again, it has proprietary input and output, and it has a lightning end that goes into your iOS device that has a lightning port. And this is the cipher portion. It controls volume, and it also controls Siri. So there's a center button that if you press will activate Siri. There's also a 3.5 to 1/4 inch adapter, which is nice. There's some manuals that, I guess we can peruse through, but why? All right, fine. There's nothing in here. Nothing of any real value except photos and marketing stuff. And it's not a terrible manual. It's an okay manual. It kind of gives you the specs for the EL-8 in titanium, but that's about it. There's nothing particularly exciting, but I thought I might find something exciting. Audeze does tell you a little bit about its driver. The driver in this is, in fact, a planar magnetic, which is fantastic. A planar magnetic headphone made specifically for the iPhone or iOS devices. Try to find that anywhere else. This is an Audeze-Apple partnership. Now, this thing, I don't know what it is, except to warn you that, hey, when you plug the headphones into their cables, make sure you do it the right way. Don't try to force the plug inside the headphones if it's not going in. And that goes without saying, but I'll say it again. If you do not adhere to those instructions. Like if you force the proprietary connections into the headphones and you break it, guess what? You're going to have to send these back to Audeze to fix, and it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Because, you know what? That's user error, because they warned you. So as I said, the cipher cable is pretty interesting, but I'm not going to use the cipher cable today. At least not for this unboxing. I am just going to use the one that was obviously used previously by the prior owner. The cable itself is fairly long. It's not terribly long. It's comfortably long, so you can put it in your pocket with your iPhone or your other digital playing device, and it'll be fine. It is quite flat, and that's kind of an issue for me. I don't really like flat cables, other people do, but I think that the flat cables just kind of have these kinks, as you can see very clearly. The problem is, in order to get an unflat cable, well, you're going to have to beg Audeze, because once again, these are proprietary. So let's try to plug these things in. There is a left and right indication on the bottom of the headphone cups. And you have to look very carefully to find it, otherwise you might just miss it. They swivel up and down, left. Oh, you know what? This is fantastic. Audeze, you did a fantastic job. I don't know of any other headphone, at least not from their lines, that actually swivel all the way like this. None of their LCD version headphones swivel their cups like this. Their signed headphones certainly have very little swiveling. This is made for comfort. Well, except for the top headband, which we'll come back to later. Now that I've plugged in the cord appropriately, gosh, look at this thing. It's so well made. Even now, when I'm recording this voiceover, I am surprised by how well these things are in the hand. There are a lot of very expensive headphones that feel as if you scratch them with your fingernail, they might fall apart, but these things, they are built like a real tank. Putting them on, I realized that it's the headband, stupid. The headband is incredibly uncomfortable. It started hitting the top of my head immediately. There's very little gap between the headband and the metal part that is shrouded over it. Now, I knew this before I bought these headphones. I knew it because I did a lot of research, and I realized looking at the photos that there was something wrong, and I needed to fix these pair of headphones before I could even listen. And this is what I did. I went on Amazon, and I researched, and I searched, and I begged myself to find a headband alternative, and here it is. It's the Geekeria, whatever. It's a headband that has an adhesive on the back, and you just kind of stick it up there. But I don't really want to stick it up there, because who knows if I want to sell these pair of headphones later. And I certainly don't want to have glue on the top of the headband. That just sounds like a disaster to happen. But this headband seems just about the right size. It's actually a little bit bigger than the headband that comes from the factory. And with this headband and the original headband put together on top of each other, there's a lot of padding, sufficient padding to hold the weight of these headphones on the top of my head. But how was I going to, put this extra pair of headband material on the headband without using glue? I decided that I'm going to do the nitty-gritty fix, which is I was going to use twisty ties. So I bought twisty ties, and I'm getting them right now. Well, before I get them, because I'm recording this voiceover and I completely forgot when I got them, I want to take a look at the headband again, apparently. It's well made. So, there you have it. Eventually, I am going to go get the twisty ties and put it on this thing. At some point. It's going to happen. Eventually. So as we're both waiting for me to actually finish doing what I'm supposed to be doing, here are the twisty ties. There's a couple ways you can put the twisty ties on the headband if you are so inclined. I mean, you can go ahead and try to use the adhesive, but I thought that trying to use the adhesive would ruin the original headband, and second, I don't think that it would actually stick. I think there would be too much air gap between the glue and the original headband. The 3M adhesive simply will not work very well on leather type material. I think this is probably pleather, but still, it's the same thing. And as always, I'm struggling to open this small Ziploc package, so I had to tear it open. So the idea here is I could do this in two ways. I could zip tie or twist tie the headband to the top, to the metal part, but I decided against that. I thought it would be probably a better idea to twist tie to the pleather or leather headband that came originally installed. That way it's secure to that, and I'm not putting unnecessary strain on both head pads with the metal part on top. Look, it all makes sense in my mind. So I just twisted it to the end, to the original headband, and after twisting it, I moved it as far to the corner as I dared, knowing that it was going to remain stable. And so you can see that it's pretty well pinched at the end. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And clearly you can see that the headband that I purchased is slightly, ever so slightly larger than the manufacturer, the one that came installed. I don't think that's a problem, actually. I think I'm pretty glad that it is slightly bigger, because being slightly smaller may have been a problem. I'm able to also push this end, the twisty, all the way to the corner and tighten it down significantly. And it doesn't move. Once in place, that's it. Now, it may look a little ugly, and okay, it is a little ugly, but putting this pair of headphones back on my head with the add-on headband, the comfort level is miles ahead of the original. This adds significantly more padding and cushion and comfort. This is what Audeze should have done originally. The headband that they ship with this pair of headphones is insufficient because of the weight of these headphones. And I can tell you, with this extra headband, which cost me, I think, $8 on Amazon, these headphones are supremely comfortable. And, well, are they austere? Yeah, I think so. I think these headphones are quite austere, with a minor modification.